My name is Nova Sterling and I'm 35 years old. I'm a team leader in the United States Army Special Forces, the first female Green Beret team leader. In the last 10 years, I've run covert operations across 4 continents. I've trained 20 female operators, and I hold the Congressional Medal of Honor, only the 3rd woman ever. But 10 years ago, I wasn't even accepted into Special Forces selection. My application was rejected because Lieutenant Colonel Reese Blackwood said, "Women are biologically unsuited for combat." I grew up in Georgia. My father was an Army veteran, Rangers. He served in Vietnam. When he came home, he told me the stories. Hard stories. Painful stories. But always honest. "Nova," he would say, "war is hell. But sometimes hell is necessary. And if you're going into hell, you have to be the best. Because the second best person dies." At 5, I learned to shoot with my grandfather's .22 rifle. At 10, I hunted. At 13, I started martial arts. At 15, I ran cross-country. State champion. At 18, my father died. Heart attack. Sudden. His last words to me: "If you join the military, volunteer. Try for Rangers, and never quit." At his funeral, an Army recruiter approached me. "I heard a lot about your father. He was a great soldier. Are you thinking about the military?" "Yes," I said. Rangers. That's very difficult for women. My father would have done it. So will I." At 19, I joined the Army. Basic training. Fort Benning. 8 weeks. Physical conditioning. Weapons training. Tactics. Discipline. On the first day, the drill sergeant yelled, "This Army is not a game. If you can't handle it, quit now." I came to handle it, and I finished basic training. First in my class, then airborne school, parachute training, jumping from planes, 3 weeks. Every jump had fear. But fear is manageable. Training turns fear into strength. Then I applied for Ranger School, the Army's toughest training, even for men. For women, nearly impossible. At that time, 2015, Ranger School had just opened to women. The first female Rangers graduated in 2015. I started in 2016. 21 years old. 60 days. Minimal sleep. Minimal food. Maximum stress. Mountain training. Forest operations. Swamp patrolling. Wake at 4 a.m. Sleep at 2 a.m. 20-mile marches per day. 80-pound equipment. First week, there were 3 other women. Second week, 1 quit. Third week, another got injured. Fourth week, the last one failed. I remained. Only woman, with 60 men. The instructor, Sergeant First Class Miguel Torres, told me, "Sterling, you came here to prove something, to show women can do it. But I don't see you differently from the others. If you fail, you fail. If you pass, you pass. Not gender, performance." "Understood, Sergeant." "Good, because some people want you to fail, to say women can't be Rangers. Prove them wrong." 60 days later, I finished Ranger School. Of 130 students who started, 30 graduated. I was one of them. In the top 15, I received my Ranger tab, one of the most respected badges in the Army. I was now a Ranger. At 22, I was assigned to the 75th Ranger Regiment. Combat deployment, Iraq, 2017, 6 months. Night raids, direct action missions, high-value target captures. I remember my first firefight. In Ramadi, night raid, Taliban target, we went in. Gunfire started, smoke, chaos, confusion, but training kicked in. My body went on autopilot. Aim, shoot, move, cover, communicate, team coordination, mission successful. 0 casualties on our side. Target captured. Team leader, Lieutenant Sarah Chen, said afterward, "Good job, Sterling. You didn't freeze. You didn't panic. You acted like a professional." "Thank you, ma'am. One day you'll be a leader too. Remember that. I did 3 deployments, Iraq, Afghanistan, Africa, undisclosed location. In each I performed excellently. Marksmanship awards, commendation medals, praise from team leaders. At 28, I felt ready. Next level. The Army's most elite. Special Forces. Green Berets. I filled out the Special Forces selection application. Physical tests. Psychological evaluation. Background check. I passed everything. Then the interview. With Lieutenant Colonel Reese Blackwood, Special Forces Group Commander. Fort Bragg, North Carolina. That's when everything changed. Sarah's Colonel Reese Blackwood was 48 years old. He'd been in the Army for 25 years. 20 years in Special Forces. 5 years as Group Commander. West Point graduate. From Connecticut. Military family. fourth-generation soldier. When I entered his office, I looked at the walls. Photos, medals, plaques, Afghanistan, Iraq, Latin America, Africa, missions worldwide. A success story. He examined my file. Didn't speak for a long time. Finally. Sterling, Rangers, 3 deployments. Excellent evaluations. Impressive. Thank you, sir. But Special Forces is different. Rangers do direct action, in and out. Quick missions. Special Forces does unconventional warfare. Months-long deployments. Harsh conditions. Minimal support. Training indigenous forces. Language skills. Cultural adaptation. And most importantly, small teams. 6 to 12 people. Everyone must trust each other. Your life depends on your teammates. I understand, sir. That's why I applied. I want to do more. Now, Sterling, I'll be direct with you. I have mixed feelings about seeing female operators in Special Forces. I should have been prepared. But it still stung. Sir, women have successfully served in Rangers. I know. Women pass Ranger school. Women serve successfully in combat. But Special Forces is different. Physical standards are higher. Environmental conditions are tougher. And team dynamics are critical. I can meet the physical standards. This isn't just about physical. It's about biology. Male and female bodies are built differently. Men have more upper body strength, higher bone density, higher aerobic capacity. This is biology, not bias. Sir, I passed all the fitness tests. I know you passed, but passing and excelling are different. In Special Forces, average isn't enough. You must be exceptional. And I ask myself, can female soldiers be exceptional? On extended missions? With minimal resources? With male teammates? Sir, permission to speak freely? Go ahead. Sir, I've done 3 deployments, each with male teammates. None complained about my gender. I did my job. They did theirs. The team worked. If they can trust me, Special Forces can too. But they were Rangers. Large teams. Special Forces is small, 6 to 12 people. If one person fails, everyone's at risk, and I can't take that risk. Sir, I'm not a risk. I'm an asset. After a long silence. Sterling, I'll review your application, but I can't guarantee anything. Selection is very competitive. Only the best pass, and the best might be a different standard for female soldiers. Sir, there should be only one standard. The best. We have different opinions. Dismissed. I left, angry, disappointed, but I hadn't given up. 2 weeks later, the answer came. Rejected. Applicant does not meet current operational requirements for Special Forces selection. Recommendation. Continue service in current assignment. Operational requirements. I passed every test, passed every evaluation, but still failed. Why? Because Reese Blackwood decided so. After the Special Forces rejection, I returned to Rangers. But now I was different, angry, motivated. I would prove Blackwood was wrong. 6 months later, I was assigned to my 4th deployment to Afghanistan. Helmand Province, Taliban stronghold, difficult area, high casualties, daily firefights. My team leader was Captain Emma Rodriguez, 32 years old, 7 years in Rangers, tough, fair, excellent tactician. Sterling, she said, I'm making you team second in command. If anything happens to me, you take over. Understood, ma'am. And one more thing. I heard you got rejected from Special Forces. Yes, ma'am. Blackwood? Yes, he's a dinosaur. Old school. Women don't belong in combat mentality. But times are changing. Don't give up. You'll prove him wrong. I need an opportunity to prove him wrong. That opportunity will come. Trust me. 3 months into deployment, we were on routine patrol. Northern Helmand Province. Mountainous terrain. Difficult terrain. High Taliban activity. We were doing radio checks regularly. Every 15 minutes. Standard protocol. Then we heard a call. Different frequency. Special Forces frequency. All stations, this is Dagger 6. We are under heavy fire. Multiple casualties. Request immediate QRF. Grid coordinates on Dagger 6. Reese Blackwood's call sign. Captain Rodriguez immediately. Dagger 6. This is Ranger 2-1. We are 5 clicks north of your position. Can provide support. Over. Long pause. Then Blackwood's voice. Ranger 2-1. Negative. We have air support en route. Hold position. Out. But radio traffic continued. Other voices from Blackwood's team. Dagger 6, we need extract now. We have 3 KIA, 5 WIA. Dagger 6, enemy flanking east side. We're getting overrun. Dagger 6, respond. Sir, respond. Then, Silence. Blackwood didn't answer. Captain Rodriguez looked at me. Command freeze. He froze. What do we do? Regs technically say wait, but regs also say don't abandon soldiers. Sterling, what do you think? I think those men are dying. And we're 5 kilometers away. 15 minutes. We can save them. No authorization. If we go, we're disobeying orders. If we don't go, those men will die, Rodriguez thought. Then, fuck the orders. We're going. Sterling, prep the team. Yes, ma'am. 5 kilometers. Mountainous terrain. 15-minute fast march. Equipment, 80 pounds. Altitude, 8,000 feet. Hard, but doable. Rodriguez radioed. Dagger 6, Ranger 2-1 en route to your position. ETA 15 minutes, over. No answer. Dagger 6 acknowledge. Over. Still no answer. Fucking great, Rodriguez muttered. Let's move, people. 12 people. We ran at a fast tempo, climbed the mountain slope. Risky. Because we were making loud movement in enemy territory. But the risk was necessary. 10 minutes later, we heard gunfire. Close, very close. Rodriguez hand-signaled, spread out. Combat formation. Sterling, right flank. I moved to the right flank, with 3 soldiers from my team. Left flank was Rodriguez and 6 soldiers. Center had 2 soldiers, machine gunners. When we reached the ridge, I saw, in the valley below, Blackwood's team pinned down. Behind rocks, Taliban firing from 3 sides. Heavy fire, RPGs, AK-47s, and Blackwood crouched behind a rock, holding the radio, but not talking, just frozen. Rodriguez. Sterling, you take right flank. Enemy positions on the east side. Suppress them. I'll take left flank. Center will provide covering fire. Go. I sprinted on the right flank with my team. Approached enemy positions. 100 meters. 50 meters. 25 meters, then I opened fire. Full auto, M4 carbine. 30 rounds, reload, 30 more, enemy suppressed. Some fell. Others took cover. Rodriguez's fire from the left flank. Machine gun from center. Coordinated fire. Taliban retreated. Dagger team, this is Ranger 2-1. Extract north side. Move now. Blackwood's team began to move, carrying the wounded. Leaving the dead, couldn't retrieve them yet, but Blackwood, still behind the rock, didn't move. Radio. Dagger 6, extract now. We're covering! No answer. Fucking hell. He froze. Really froze. I yelled to my team, cover me, and sprinted. Down the hill, under enemy fire. Bullets whizzed past. Close. Very close. I reached Blackwood. Grabbed him. Sir. We're moving, now! He looked at me, eyes empty, in shock. Sir. Let's go! I pulled him up, forced him to move, supported him, because he couldn't walk on his own. We climbed toward the ridge. My team provided covering fire. Rodriguez's team too. Taliban retreated. Air support arrived, Apache helicopters. Game over for Taliban. At the extract point, medics stabilized the wounded. 3 KIA killed in action. 5 WIA wounded in action. 4 critical. But 12 people were alive. Because we came. And Blackwood? He sat, trembling, not speaking. Rodriguez told me, you just saved a commander. A commander who showed command freeze. Soldiers were dying. We had to go. Yes, we had to. And you showed leadership. Blackwood didn't. What happens now? Investigation. Command review. And probably you're a Medal of Honor candidate. I just did my job. No. You did a hero's job. After the Helmand operation, a full investigation was launched. Army Criminal Investigation Command, CID. Blackwood's actions were examined. Why didn't he respond to radio calls? Why didn't he move with his team? Why did he freeze under fire? Every team member was interviewed. Their testimonies were the same. Blackwood froze, gave no commands, showed no leadership. If the Rangers hadn't come, we'd all be dead. My testimony. When I found Blackwood, he was in shock. Didn't respond to commands. Required physical assistance for extract. Rodriguez's testimony. Blackwood refused us authorization on the radio. Said hold position. If I hadn't disobeyed, 12 soldiers would be dead. Sterling showed leadership. Blackwood didn't. Investigation findings. Lieutenant Colonel Reese Blackwood demonstrated command incompetence and failure to lead under enemy fire. Recommendation: remove from command. Formal reprimand. Possible discharge proceedings. but Blackwood had connections. West Point Network. Senior officers would protect him. A general said privately, "Blackwood is a good officer. He had a bad day. Happens to everyone." "Sir, that bad day could have killed 12 soldiers." "Yes, but it didn't. Because you intervened." "Good job. And Blackwood?" "Blackwood will be removed from command, but won't be discharged. Instead, desk job, Pentagon, training command, until retirement." "That's not fair, sir." "Life's not fair, Sterling. But you'll be recognized. Medal of Honor nomination, White House ceremony, media attention. You'll be a hero. Blackwood will be forgotten." And that's what happened. 6 months later, I was at the White House. Congressional Medal of Honor ceremony, America's highest military honor. Only 3,500 people have received it in history. I was the third woman. In the ceremony seating, there were military dignitaries, generals, admirals, senior officers. And in the back row, alone, Reese Blackwood. He was no longer Lieutenant Colonel, just Mr. Blackwood. Retired, forced. Health reasons. But everyone knew the truth. The president made a speech. Staff Sergeant Nova Sterling demonstrated extraordinary heroism and selfless sacrifice. Under enemy fire, risking her own life, she saved 12 American soldiers. She represented bravery, dedication, and the finest traditions of the American military. Applause. Standing ovation. Photos. The president pinned the medal around my neck. It was heavy, physically and emotionally. At the end of the ceremony, Blackwood approached. He looked tired, old, defeated. "Sterling," he said quietly. "Mr. Blackwood, congratulations. The medal is well deserved. Thank you. I also want to apologize." I was surprised. "Apologize?" "Yes, for rejecting your Special Forces application, for saying wrong things about you. Women biologically unsuited. That was bias, not science. And that bias almost killed people. You saved them all despite my bias." You froze. Yes, I froze. PTSD, undiagnosed, untreated for years. That day it triggered. And I couldn't provide leadership. You did. So what now? I'm going to Montana, rural, quiet, getting therapy. For PTSD, and I'll live with my mistakes, being prejudiced against you, against other female soldiers. I damaged so many careers, destroyed so much potential. And for that, it's unforgivable. You're right. It is unforgivable. But at least you're acknowledging it. It's not enough. But it's all I can do. We shook hands. And parted, for the last time. After the Medal of Honor, media attention increased. Interviews, TV appearances, magazine covers. Woman hero saves Special Forces team. The story went viral. And then, a phone call. From Fort Bragg, Special Forces Command. "Sergeant Sterling, this is Major General Catherine Voss, Special Forces Group Commander. Can we talk?" "Yes, ma'am." "Sterling, your actions in Helmand were impressive. Leadership, courage, quick thinking. These are the qualities we want in Special Forces." "Thank you, ma'am. I'm offering you Special Forces selection. Direct entry. If you pass, and I think you will, you'll be a Green Beret. First female operator. Interested?" "Yes, ma'am, absolutely." "Good, but understand. Expectations are very high. Media will watch. Critics will wait for you to fail. Bias still exists in some corners. You'll struggle, but if you're truly the best, you'll prove it." "I'm ready, ma'am." "Then we start next month. Welcome to selection." Selection was 3 months. Hell, physical torture, mental exhaustion, sleep deprivation, navigation challenges, rucksack marches, 50 miles, 80-pound pack, team exercises, leadership scenarios, only 30% pass. Most quit, some fail. Very few succeed. I succeeded. Every test, every challenge, every evaluation, final day, Major General Voss gave me my Green Beret. "Sterling, congratulations. You're now a Green Beret, first woman. But you won't be the last. You opened the door, others will follow." "Honored, ma'am." Now the real work begins. Deployment. Real missions. Are you ready? Born ready, ma'am. Over the next 3 years, I ran missions across 4 continents. Learned languages, Pashto Dari Arabic, trained indigenous forces, reconnaissance missions, direct action, counter-terrorism. Every mission successful. 0 casualties on my team. Excellent evaluations. At 32, I became a team leader. First female Green Beret team leader. Commanded 6 operators, all male. Initially, they were skeptical. Female leader? But performance speaks. After the first mission, they trusted Team Sergeant. Master Sergeant Jake Donovan said, "Sterling, at first there were doubts, but you proved it. You're a leader, not gender, skill. Appreciate it, Jake. And one more thing, you're not just a good leader. You make us better because you bring different perspective. You can talk to local women on missions. You gather intelligence we can't. That's an advantage." He was right. In Afghanistan, Iraq, Africa, I could talk to women. They wouldn't talk to male operators, but they talked to me. And they gave intelligence, critical intelligence, mission-saving intel. Once in an Afghan village, a woman told me, "Taliban fighters come at night. They hide in the old school building. They leave in the morning. That intelligence allowed us to eliminate a Taliban cell. 0 civilian casualties. Because a woman talked to me. A male operator could never have gotten that intelligence." At 33, I received a special assignment, Establish Women in Special Forces Training Program. The Army wanted to recruit new female operators, but there was no path, no structure. I would create it. I returned to Fort Bragg, set up an office, developed curriculum, wrote standards, same as men, not lower, started recruitment campaign. First year, 100 women applied. 10 were accepted to selection. 5 passed. Second year, 200 applications. 20 to selection. 8 passed. Third year, 500 applications. 50 to selection. 20 passed. Now there are 100 female Green Berets. I trained them all deployed, all successful, and the critics? Silenced, because data speaks. Female operators are equally qualified, equally effective, and in some cases, talking to local women, cultural sensitivity, more effective. At 34, I was in Montana. Vacation, hiking, quiet. I stopped at a coffee shop in a small town, and I saw Reese Blackwood, sitting in the corner, alone, reading a book. He looked aged, hair gray, face lined, but calm. I approached. "Mr. Blackwood." He looked up, recognized me. "Sterling, or Lieutenant Sterling now, right?" "Captain, promoted." "Captain, impressive, please sit." I sat. The waiter brought coffee. "What are you doing in Montana?" he asked. "Vacation. You?" "Living here 3 years now, quiet, rural, good for therapy." "PTSD?" "Yes, better now. Medication, therapy, self-awareness, but there are still scars." "Always will be." Silence. Then, "Sterling, I want you to know something. You were right. Women should be in special forces. I was biased, scared. The old world was changing, and I resisted, but you proved it. And now there are 100 more women, because of you. They're there because of themselves. I just opened the door. No, you did more. You proved women are equally capable, and in some cases more capable. Like local women intelligence. Exactly. That dimension I never considered. But now it's obvious. Teams are more effective with female operators. So what are you doing now? Volunteer work, veteran support groups, PTSD outreach. Because too many veterans suffer in silence. I suffered. Now I want to help. That's good. You're finding redemption. Maybe. Or just atonement for my mistakes. Everyone makes mistakes. Yes. But my mistakes destroyed careers, destroyed potential, and almost destroyed lives. But didn't. Because I intervened. Yes. And I'm thankful every day. You saved me. And you saved the Army by changing minds about women. We shook hands and parted in peace. Today I'm 35 years old, captain in Special Forces, team leader, Women in SF program director, and I've trained 100 female operators. But most importantly, I opened the door. Now young women join the Army because they know Special Forces is an option. No limits, no ceiling, just standards. And if you can meet them, you belong. Every month, young female recruits write to me. "Captain Sterling, you're an inspiration. You proved it's possible. I'll do it too, and they do." Every year, more women pass selection. More earn Green Berets. More missions succeed. Critics still exist. Women don't belong in combat, but they're quieting. Because the evidence is overwhelming. Women are equally capable, and in some areas, more effective. My story isn't just mine. It's the story of 100 women, thousands of future women. Reese Blackwood told me, women biologically unsuited. He was wrong. And I proved it. Last week there was a graduation ceremony at Fort Bragg. New Green Berets. 10 women included. I gave a speech. I'll tell you something. There will be people who tell you no. You can't do it. Women can't. Biology won't allow it. Ignore them. Because they're wrong. Biology isn't a limit. Biology is an excuse for bias. The only real limit, your own doubts. If you doubt yourself, you'll fail. If you believe, you'll succeed. I was doubted, rejected, told I was unsuited, but I didn't quit. I trained, I proved. And now, 100 more women are Green Berets. You walked through the door. Now keep it open for the next generation, because they're watching you, and they're thinking, if she can do it, I can too. They're right. They can. You proved it. Applause. Standing ovation. Tears. Because those women know. They're not just soldiers. They're pioneers. This morning, a young woman came to my office. Private First Class Maya Rodriguez, 20 years old, in Rangers, wants to apply to Special Forces. Captain Sterling, she said, I'm nervous. What if I fail? What if I'm not good enough? You joined Rangers. That already proves you're strong. Now the question, how strong? I don't know. Then find out. Apply. Try. If you fail, learn. Try again, but never quit trying. But what if some people think I don't belong? Let them think. If you belong, you'll prove it. Actions speak, not words. You were rejected, but you came back. Yes, because I knew I belonged. And you? Do you belong? She paused. Then, yes, I belong. Then go. And prove it, she smiled. And left, confident, determined. That's my legacy. Not just missions. Not just medals. The next generation. Showing them it's possible. If I can do it, they can too. Reese Blackwood thought it impossible. He was wrong. I made it possible. 10 years ago, Lieutenant Colonel Reese Blackwood told me, women are biologically unsuited for special forces. Today, there are 100 female Green Berets. I lead one team, and 20 more are in training. Was Reese right? No, completely wrong. Biology isn't the limit. Mindset is, and my mindset, no limits. No ceilings, only standards. If you can meet the standards, you belong. What's your gender? Irrelevant, game over, I won. And I opened the door. Now hundreds of women are walking through, and they'll keep walking, because I proved women belong everywhere.